Social Security for all with $1,000 ongoing monthly checks for everyone. That's what they're talking about, and the focus of this video, as this is something we certainly want to pay attention to because this is a very interesting concept, which I like the idea, but at the same time, I don't really like the idea. We'll talk about the details here in this video and what they're discussing and this whole name of Social Security for All, which, by the way, I'd love to hear from you down below in the comment section. Just give me a simple yes or no as I talk through the details here as far as this whole Social Security for All name. Not necessarily the idea and the concept here, but rather, do you like the name? Now, as I talk through the details, again, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear whether you like it or you don't. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to throw this out there super fast. Have you been watching the videos on the channel for at least, I don't know, the last year or so? If so, you've certainly heard me talk about this. Out there across the entire country, there's many different programs. They're called Guaranteed Basic Income, otherwise known as GBI. Very popular, very effective programs. They started back in, well, like 2020, 2021. They really started to kick off, but the first of these programs actually started back in 2019 in Stockton, California. Very effective approach to send out ongoing monthly checks, no strings attached, to a specific group of people. Very popular. You probably heard me talk about this before in other videos. However, there's another concept which has also been around for a very long time. There's technically none of these here in the United States, but they have tried this in other countries. UBI, otherwise known as Universal Basic Income. That's essentially sending out an ongoing monthly check to every single person in a certain country, in a certain state, in a certain region, something like that. No strings attached whatsoever. Everybody gets a check. So the person that has $0 gets a check for whatever the amount is. The person that's making 70, 80 grand a year gets a check. The person making $20 million a year gets the same check. Not a good approach. In fact, quick little side note, super fast here. Back in, when was it? I think it was in the end of 2024 is when it came in November, the voting that came in. The state of Oregon actually voted on this, a universal basic income program in their respective state to send out ongoing checks to every single person in that state. It didn't pass, but super interesting. That would have been the first universal basic income program in this country. Just want to throw that out there for context really quickly. Anyway, what they're talking about here is this whole idea of Social Security for all and relating to $1,000 ongoing monthly payments. Okay, let me explain super fast. There's a couple of different moving parts here. And this is where, again, I'd love to hear from you if you want to share down below, just a simple yes or no. Here's what they're saying. Social Security for all. Now, would that anticipate, just based on what you're hearing here, would that be like a Social Security payment? That's what it would sound like, right? But it's actually not what they're referring to. But rather what they're referring to is establishing a nationwide guaranteed, or what I should say is a universal basic income program on the national level, which would be called Social Security for All. Don't love that name. Why? Because it's not Social Security, right? We shouldn't be calling it Social Security if it's not actually Social Security. It's a universal basic income program. Let's call it what it is. That's what it is, right? But anyway, the whole idea here would be to send out ongoing monthly checks, and there's all kinds of proposals out there. I mean, seriously, there's all kinds of different ideas and concepts. $1,000, $1,200, which you've heard me talk about before in other videos as well. The $1,200, there's a piece of legislation out there as well that was introduced, I don't know, a few years ago called the Support Act. $1,200 ongoing monthly for like 5 years. That per adult, by the way. $600 per dependent as well. It'd be a lot of money. Obviously, that one never passed, but that's out there as well, which we do hear about every so often. It's not very often at all, but every couple months or so, it pops up once or twice in the headlines. But that's out there. But anyway, this whole idea of Social Security for all, right? So if you hear anybody talking about this or what this is all about, essentially what they want to do, again, establishing a universal basic income program, because that's what it really is, and slapping the name on it called Social Security for All. I don't love that. It's not Social Security. To me, this seems a little bit offensive to those people, seniors, people with disabilities, living on Social Security that have worked for their benefit their whole life, paid in their Social Security payroll taxes their whole life, worked diligently to get their benefit their whole life, And now here they are getting their benefit for the rest of their life. And it's their Social Security benefit, right? That is true Social Security, right? That's like what the program is all about. But rather just establishing a universal basic income program that just sends out no strings attached, ongoing monthly checks for everybody should definitely not be called Social Security for all, right? So we've got all these different people out there that continue coming back suggesting, we've been hearing about this a ton over the last 5.5, 6 years or so, a lot about this whole universal basic income, guaranteed basic income, no strings attached payments, establishing an income floor or an income base or a guaranteed income. We've heard about all these different names for a very long time, and I get it. It's certainly a very effective approach. We've seen it with all these guaranteed basic income programs across the entire country. We've seen these showing up. Very effective. Helps out the people that need it, right? But that's the difference between establishing a UBI, Universal Basic Income Program, versus a GBI, Guaranteed Basic Income Program. Guaranteed Basic Income, very effective. Universal Basic Income, bad idea. Not a good idea because everybody does not need a payment. And we've talked about that before in other videos as well. Now, let me throw this out there super fast as well. This is kind of interesting. There's been this concept out there. I haven't seen it in a little while, but there has been this concept talking about a negative income tax. Have you heard about this? Super interesting. I kind of like it. So what they would want to do is find the median or the average income in the country. Okay, so like right now, I think it's like, I don't know, mid 70s or so. Let's just call it 75,000. I think it's a little more than that right now. But the average or the median household income in the United States, again, let's just call it 75,000 just for easy mathematical purposes. But they say 75 grand. So basically what they say is that with a negative income tax, anybody that earns above, the median household income would owe a tax to the federal government. Obviously, just like we already do now, right? It's called a federal income tax, right? We're already doing that. But that's what that would be. But anybody under the threshold of, say, the median household income would then be paid out ongoing monthly payments to basically bring them up to the median. So let's just say, for example, that somebody has an income of, say, $63,000. Okay, it'll make sense why I'm choosing that number in a second. They have an income of $63,000, okay? But they're $12,000 below the median household income of, say, 75 grand, right? So in this case, according to this negative income tax idea, they would be paid out $12,000 over the course of the entire year to bring them up to the average or the median household income of 75 grand. In this case, it'd be like a $1,000 ongoing monthly payment to bring them up to the $75,000 median, right? Now let's just say that somebody has an income of, say, $10,000 per year. That means that they're $65,000 below the median household income for that individual. Well, 60 grand over the course of the entire year is, I don't know, what is that? $5,000 a month? Yeah, it's $5,000 a month. So that's what that would be, right? Now, obviously, that concept is, it's interesting to talk about, but also kind of far-fetched. That nothing like that's going to happen anytime soon. Who knows? Maybe at some point in the future, something like that would be happening. But now getting back to this whole Social Security for all super fast here, the whole concept and why they're calling it this is because they know that if they walked around the street and asked 10 random people, hey, what is Social Security? Most people would say something along the lines of, well, it's a program that sends out checks or pays retirees and seniors and people with disabilities. The vast majority of people understand that Social Security is a program that sends out payments during retirement or for seniors or people that become disabled at some point during their working life and can no longer work at the capacity that they once did, so they can draw on Social Security, right? Everybody has a general concept of that's what Social Security is. True. So that's why they have this brainiac idea of saying, let's establish a universal basic income program or a guaranteed basic income program. Let's put a dollar amount on it, $1,000 a month, and let's call it Social Security for all. Don't love that because that's not what it is. Just because people understand what Social Security is in general does not mean we should give it that name, because it's not Social Security. Something like this would not be paid out of Social Security at all. And it's just a universal basic income program or a guaranteed basic income program, and that's what it would be. So rather than giving it that kind of name, and that's again what I would be interested in hearing from you about down below in the comment section, which is, do you like the name Social Security for All, or do you feel like this is possibly a little bit offensive to seniors, retirees, Social Security beneficiaries of all kinds, people with disabilities that have actually worked and paid in for years and years and years through their life and their working career to get their monthly benefit, right? I mean, you earned your benefit. Whatever your benefit is, whether you're happy with it or not, that's like a representation of you, years of service, time, and taxes paid in. That's a lot of time, right, that you've paying in through taxation and just working to get that money that you're getting, right? So anyway, long story short here, this is what this is all about. And again, there's a lot of concepts out there discussing universal basic income programs, guaranteed basic income programs. I honestly don't think it's going to be all that long, especially with the implementation of all this AI across the whole country. I honestly don't think it's going to be all that long until we do see one of these types of GBI programs on a nationwide level across the country. Anyway, I found it to be pretty fascinating. Just wanted to bring it to your attention really quickly. Otherwise, if you're enrolled in Medicare, if you're one of the 70 million people enrolled in Medicare, make sure to utilize that service right there. Again, a team of trusted advisors working on your behalf for free to help you navigate Medicare, whether it's your supplement plan, your Medigap plan, your Part D plan, Medicare Advantage, initial enrollment in Medicare if you're 65 or if you're retiring. Make sure to call them. It's a free resource for those of you here in this community with that exclusive phone number. They're helping you here in this community. By the way, thousands and thousands and thousands of you here in this community have already called them. It's incredible. I've seen the numbers. It's absolutely amazing. Thousands of you calling. By the way, the average one of you calling them, the average person is saving $1,100 from a simple 5, 10, 15, 20, maybe 30-minute phone call to call them. The average person's saving $1,100. That's amazing right there. Obviously, it's not guaranteed. No guarantees here, but that's the average. Some people save more. Some people save less. Some people save zero. Just being real with you, right? That's the reality. Anyway, make sure to call them. Make sure to establish that communication. Have them help you. Seriously, please do not try to navigate Medicare on your own. But anyway, they have access to over 20,000 plans. They're helping those of you here in this community find all the available plans in your local area, narrow it all down to find you the best plan at the best price with the best coverages and the best fit for you and your personal needs, so you can see the doctors and providers you want to see, the networks you want to be within, the offices, the clinics you want to go to, the prescription needs if you have any at all. They're finding all of it, and they're isolating it all down to see what plans are best for you in your local area to fit what you need personally for your coverages. We all need something very different. Anyway, make sure to utilize that. It's there for you. Also, during annual enrollment here, when that's available here, I mean, seriously, please establish that communication now so you can be at the front of the line for annual enrollment. Seriously, so incredibly powerful. Otherwise, who do you know? Just think of 1, 2, or 3 people that you know, friends, family members, neighbors, acquaintances, siblings, coworkers, parents, neighbors down the street, neighbors down the hall that also need some help with their Medicare. Please share that phone number with them right there. Write it down, take a picture, take a screenshot, whatever you got to do, and share that with them as well so they can also get some free assistance with their Medicare. Otherwise, if you're new here, if you've not done so, please consider subscribing. 100% free. Big subscribe button down below. Please share the video. Big share button down below as well. Otherwise, check out the other nearly 6,000 videos here on the channel in the video library. The popular videos I've hand selected for you down below in the description or popping up on your screen in just a second. You'll see some videos there. Check those out. Otherwise, until next time, enjoy your day. Take care. Have a good one, and I'll catch you again later in the next video.